Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be reviewing The Bachelor after the rose. Let's get into it. So wow. Lots of changes to the show, right? Lots of changes. What do you guys think of the host? What do you guys think of the new host? Emmanuel Acho, I think is his name. Emmanuel. I thought that suit was a little too tight on him. Like Matt's suits fit him nicely. You know, like it nicely shows off his body and all his muscles like Matt, but I didn't like the colors this guy was wearing. It was just too tight. I think he was wearing a turtleneck. I didn't like what he was wearing. He's all right. He's okay so far. I think that he asked some really good questions. I love how he broke down. I liked how everything was kind of broken down as far as what antebellum means, like why Rachel was wrong for what she did. The pressures of being a black man in America, a black person in general, and the first black bachelor. Like I did like the questions, some of the questions he asked, but then towards the end, it was like, dude, what are you doing? He said no, he doesn't want to be with Rachel anymore. He made his decision, it's final, no. And he's like, are you sure? We'll get to that later. But so far he's okay. I would say, if I were talking to him, I would say, dude, you don't have to be as robotic as Chris was. Like, that's kind of just Chris's style, you know, Harrison. I think I said Hanson in one of my last videos, but that's Sesame Street, right? Yes, Chris Harrison. But Chris is very like, you know, next on The Bachelor. You know, it's very beep, 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 beep. And you don't have to say everything like this. Just because you're talking as a host on the show. You don't have to do that. I think who they could have gotten to host this, well, do they just not like Mike? I think that's his name, right? The dude, the black guy who everybody wanted to be the first bachelor. Black bachelor, Mike something, I think that's his name, but ooh, he is a cutie pie. I mean, I'm like, they just do not like this guy. Like, they didn't make him the bachelor. And then I'm like, he can't even be the host. I think he would have been good. I think he would have been okay. But you know who they could have gotten is the guy who hosts Married After First Sight. That guy, yes. His name is Kevin Frazier. That guy they could have, if he weren't already on that show and doing other things, he could have done this show because he's good. But it started out great. So he started out by talking to Michelle first. Oh, I didn't like Michelle's makeup. I think somebody drew her eyebrows in way too much. She said that after the breakup with Matt, she requested through production to talk to him for 2 minutes and he denied her. I couldn't believe that. That hurt my feelings. And so she said that she just thought that was unfair and she wanted to get a chance to talk to him. And what I was kind of not expecting was that the host, Emmanuel, he asked her about what she thought about the stuff Rachel posted. And she was just like, it looked like she wanted to say more, but she was just like, yeah, I think that's basically ignorance. And she clearly doesn't understand, you know, what that meant and how hurtful that was to a lot of people. It seemed like she wanted to say a little bit more though. Just a little bit more. So next, he talks to Matt about being the first black bachelor. They did a great job of breaking it down and being like, you know, as a black person, there's so much judgment on you. And so a lot of the time, you know, you have to be on your P's and Q's and your best behavior all the time because you might run into a white person, depending on the spaces that you are in, you might run into a white person who has literally never been around a black person before and will take that interaction they had with you as to measure all of their future interactions with any other person of color, which is so freaking stupid and messed up, and all of the things that we have to do, all, you know, from the way you talk to how you present yourself, to the clothes you wear, to the things you talk about, to the books you read, to the school you went to all of the things that eventually don't even freaking matter. what class you're in. It doesn't even matter, because you will be treated the way you are going to be treated. Like, so it just makes me upset that we have to do things like that. So yeah, I really like how they broke that down. One thing that bothered me was the host kept saying, you know, now we're going to have conversations that might make you feel uncomfortable. They might be uncomfortable. And I'm like, they are needed conversations. Stop saying that. And I feel like we know exactly who he was talking to, because I feel like he was talking predominantly to the white audience watching the show. Like, oh, what we're going to talk about might make you uncomfortable. Like, I wish he stopped saying that. Like, these are needed conversations. You know what I mean? Like, come on with the I'm uncomfortable. Like, throw that out of the window. Like, people are dying. This is serious. You need to be able to, on a reality show of all things, like, the bar is so low. Like, if you can't even handle this conversation in the comfort of your own home, something is wrong with you. Matt made a good point about having to make people feel comfortable with his blackness, and that sometimes is at the forefront when we should have the freedom to just concentrate on other things. That's always something there. That's always an added, you know, a weight on our back of like how people are going to perceive me, and having to kind of fight through all of those ways that you know, it's annoying, and it can be truly frustrating. We get to the news that, you know, Matt is no longer with Rachel. He broke up with her after those photos surfaced, and it was a big to-do, and he broke up with her. I was surprised. I was surprised by that. I thought he was going to be like, oh, everybody makes mistakes, and I know her heart, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. I thought he was going to be one of those guys. And wow, he just seemed very disappointed by the whole thing. And basically, I love what he said. He said, if you know, I had a conversation with her, and if she didn't understand in 2018 how that was wrong, there's a lot of stuff about me as a black, like, she's not going to get. And it's not my responsibility to teach her those things. She has to learn that on her own. And I'm happy for her to go on that journey. And I'm like, yeah, yes, Matt. Yes. You know, again, judging, I keep bringing it up, but judging from that first episode where he was like, some people want me to like be with a certain kind of person, and I'm just not, I don't live my life like that. Like, I was like worried about just, he's not as clunky and stupid as I thought he was. And I love that he just kept reiterating that, like, that's not work. That's not for me to do. I'm not here to teach you how to be nice to black people, or how to see the wholeness of a black person, or see them as human beings, or to understand that what you did was wrong, and like really wrong. That's not my responsibility. That's some stuff that you got to do on your own. And it's like, yes. Then the host, you know, this is the part where the host is getting on my nerves, because I understand that you kind of have to play devil's advocate. And some of the questions that he was asking Matt, like, well, do you ever see, like, you know, do you think that there's something wrong with judging somebody based on what they did 3 years ago? Like, isn't that kind of like, aren't you not giving her a chance? And it's like, what? No, like, you know what was, and then he was like, you know what was a long time ago? Slavery. Like, and we still talking about it. It's still something that affects us to this day. And like, it doesn't mean that I don't like her. It doesn't mean that I don't love her anymore. I can still love somebody and still want them to grow on their own. I love how he just kept reiterating that, like, that's not my responsibility to accept that from her. What she did, I think really grossed him out, and he just seemed so disgusted by her. So yeah, so Rachel comes out and the host talks to her about it, and she's just like breaking out in hives. Why does she wear a red dress? I wonder if production made her wear red. Because I'm like, doesn't red symbolize, like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if that wasn't even a decision, but Anyway, she was breaking out in hives. I was like, I wouldn't have worn that dress, that little cutoff dress, if I knew I was gonna have to like be, if I was gonna be nervous and be put on the spot. And she was like breaking out all on her neck and on her shoulder and stuff. I was like, yikes. But he basically explained to her what she did was ignorant. And the difference between like being racially insensitive and ignorant, and how that leads into racism. And he broke that down well. I do like that. And she's just like, oh, I'm so sorry, and like, I lost the love of my life and I'll never love again. Oh, I know I'll never love this way again. That was bad. That was so bad. That was bad. Anyway, she just is like so lost and like, oh my God, she can't believe that she hurt Matt the way that she did. And so Matt comes out, and yeah, man, he just looked disappointed, and he said he was disappointed. And another thing that I loved was, so the host kept pushing it. The host kept pushing it and being like, well, this woman that you used to love, that you loved, sitting right in front of you, do you feel any sort of way now? Is the door even possibly open? And he's like, basically, no. I can't really forgive you. I can't really forget what you said and the things that you did or whatever. Like, I can't really, those things hurt me. Being a Black person, especially raised in the South, like that's something that I just can't even. And the fact that you didn't understand that just 3 years ago, it's not like this is whatever year you want to say it is. It's like the internet exists. And yeah, that was interesting that he was like, so this is the first Black Bachelor, and you go on the show for the first Black Bachelor, and you don't ever think that those photos are going to surface or anything. And she's like, I mean, honestly, I never even thought about it. And I'm like, yeah, no duh. And that's the privilege you get. That's the privilege as a white person that you get. You don't have to think about some of the shit that you do. You could just do them, and everyone gives you the benefit of the fucking doubt. I'm cursing a lot. Everyone gives you the benefit of the doubt. You could just do stuff. And that is the privilege right there. That's the freedom that a lot of other people do not have. They get executed on the street. Like, and I feel like she still didn't understand. She still doesn't understand all the way. Because when Matt comes out and he's like trying to talk to her, I think it was kind of awkward and quiet. And like, he kept all these pauses, he kept taking all these pauses, because I think he was trying to formulate the words in a way that wasn't, I think he was just trying to formulate the words and what he was going to say, and think very carefully about what he was going to say to this girl. And she's like holding his hand and holding on his thigh and like rubbing his back. And it's like, girl, get the freak off of him. Stop touching him. You still don't get it. He is disgusted with your behavior. And yeah, he might still have feelings for you. Like, he said that those feelings don't go away, but like this, you still don't get it. Like, this is not just like, oh, I did an oopsie boopsie. Like, no, like that. At the core, it's hard for me as a Black person to want to be with you when like you just a couple years ago thought that what you did was okay. Like going to some slavery themed celebration or whatever the hell it was. Like, girl, no. Anyway, I just didn't like how the host kept trying to be like, well, you sure you don't want to forgive? Oh, and then so she started crying, of course. And, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just don't even know. And I just want you to be happy. And like, I don't know how I'm going to feel this way about anybody else again. Like, I just don't know. And he said, I'm not emotionally responsible for those tears. Ooh! Yes. Yes, Matt, say that. I'm not emotionally responsible for those tears, because you did something, because you did something. I had to react, And it's just, you have to just deal with the consequences of your actions. And crying is not going to save you. Crying is not going to save you. You just need to do the work. You need to do the work. And she was kind of sort of saying, well, like, I don't know how, like, you can do this and you can read and you can do this, but like, I don't know how anything is going to get done if we're not changing the education that people are getting. And I'm like, yeah, but that starts with incidences like these, where you get an opportunity to go, oh, it cracks your brain open. That cracked your brain wide open. And you went, oh crap, now I got to really think about the things that I say before I say. I need to think about, like, oh wow, like, yeah. a whole new world. It was interesting. I thought it was a good episode. I was really tuned into it. Because usually, sometimes these episodes are so long and I kind of, start looking at my phone or something. But they had some really great conversations this episode. Oh, and so Emmanuel was like, do you guys want to share a final embrace? Which I'm like, oh my God, again, he said no. He just was like, I was like, oh no. Because I'm like, you gonna ask them to hug after that? They're adults. They don't have to hug. He said what he said. She said what she said. They don't have to hug at the end and be friends. So anyways, woo. So that is the end of that. And, so I wonder what's next for Matt. Like, what is he going to end up doing? Is he going to come back to The Bachelor in some sort of way? Is he going to, what do they end up doing after this type of stuff? I know some of them get like jobs on ET and like anchor jobs and stuff. And I can kind of see Matt doing that. So I wonder if he's going to continue to keep teaching or whatever. And he, dang, it sucks that it didn't work out for him. So that's the end of that. And so then we get the announcement of the Bachelorette, who will be the next Bachelorette. And there's going to be two. It's going to be Katie and Michelle. Katie, the one holding the dildo, coming in, and Michelle. And as they walk out, Michelle just doesn't seem like she's feeling the whole thing. I don't know. She just didn't seem as excited as Katie did. Katie was like, Katie just like couldn't even help herself. Like she was so excited. So they're going to do I guess they're not, I wonder if they're going to do back-to-back seasons of The Bachelorette. Because, so Katie's going to go first and then Michelle's going to go after. But they usually have a Bachelor like right after The Bachelorette. So I wonder how that's going to be. What would be kind of cool is I would love to see somebody try again. I would love to see like them give like one of the Bachelors or Bachelorettes like another shot. Maybe. Like that would be kind of cool. But there you have it. That's the end of the show, guys. Oh my God. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for tuning in this entire season with me. This is the first time I've ever actually reviewed a show, like multiple episodes of a show. I completed it. Oh my gosh, thank you for watching this. All of the 4 people who do, I really, really appreciate it. And anybody who watches this in the future, thank you for hanging in there with me. And I look forward to like reviewing other shows and doing more interviews. Yeah, but this was nice. What did you guys think? What did you all think of this season? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up. Yeah, and what show should I watch next? let me know. But this was a cool ride, a cool journey. I really wanted to review The Bachelorette with Tayshia last season. That was just so juicy. So I just thought I'd jump in on this, Again, some of my favorite reviewers are Just Call Me Wah and Nikki Star TV. Those two ladies are amazing. So check out their channels. But yeah, that's it for me on The Bachelor this season. Yeah, y'all. Oh, I'm gonna miss you guys. Give me a hug. Yes, I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.